there's two people out there that could be starting an incredible motorsport career and really taking that next step.
What I wanted to do was take them out of their comfort zone, because now it throws them in the deep end. They shouldn't be here if they're not taking it seriously.
The drive in ROKiT Racing F4 for next year is worth £450,000.
Looks once again to the inside and commits to it on the inside into Watford. That is brave move there, really.
Those sort of opportunities don't come around all too often, unfortunately.
Missed out by 1,000th of a second.
I just threw away my entire future.
Give it fire.
I've never wanted something so much for him in my entire life. He needs this because it's the only thing he has.
We are here in the broadcast center in Kemptal in Switzerland.
The purpose of race control is to have as clean as possible racing.
As we get underway for one final time, as they're all away nice and clean. Oh, there's been a bit of contact, he's already been sent around in the background.
The latest esports and the simulators you can actually have in your own home are becoming so real that it's not a bad place to start. Formula 4 is the starting point to get you on the ladder towards Formula 1.
We're seeing superstars being made for the future. It's incredible.
Racing Star is an esports competition that's open to absolutely anyone in the UK between the ages of 14 to 16. And in this series, we're going to follow the story of our young hopefuls through the whole competition until we find our winners. We'll then track their progress through the pressures of training all the way to their big race debut as they go from sim to circuit.
Hello everyone and welcome along to Bolton University at the NCME for the ROKiT Racing Star Formula 4 Esports Competition UK. It's going to be great fun today. We've got such close racing between these young drivers. They're fighting for a real life seat and it's a huge prize, huge pressure on their shoulders to come out on top.
May 2022. This is the culmination of months of online battling. It all comes to a head at the University of Bolton as the final 23 boys and girls gather for one last showdown.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great experience for everyone here. I mean, even if you don't win, it's still a great experience to use these kind of simulators, which usually you wouldn't really be able to access at home.
I've never really done anything like this before, so it's a new experience.
I've been doing a fair bit of practice just to make sure I'm on the top of my game for this weekend.
I want to get in the rig and see what it's all like and see the motion rig and see how it moves and stuff. And I want to see the other competitors and see how much practice everybody's been put in and stuff like that, so yeah.
These sims, they look a lot more realistic than what I have at home, but I think nothing can really compare to what it's like in real life. So you're feeling the wind, the air, and it's all real. It's not just a sim, so.
To this weekend's fantastic event. It is of course the ROKiT Racing Star F4 Esports Competition. We have got 23 young people in this room who've absolutely battled their way through to be here. Can we first of all have a humongous cheer for them? We're all behind you, whoever wins today, and of course our winner is in this room. Please enjoy it. Round of applause for our 23 finalists first of all though.
Racing Star actually is an evolution of the programme that we started with the University of Bolton, where we were trying to help youngsters into education and bring them through that, particularly from the north of England, where we still think there's a north-south divide in terms of opportunity. And we also wanted to help the kids that were disadvantaged, so we were providing scholarships as well as training.
ROKiT was approached by Bob Fernley, ultimately, who ran the competition with a company called Racing Stars Limited, and he was looking for a sponsor, and we became the overall sponsor of this particular championship. Have a competition, find out who's quick, get them trained on simulators, and then put them into a real car. I said, this is great. I'll provide the sponsorship and the finance. Bob, you do the logistics to help me out, and that's how it was formed.
It's about accessibility. How can we get the opportunity for youngsters to go racing as wide as possible? And the esports, in my view, gives me that. When you look at the standard of it today and the way that it's moved forward, you have to say that it's a route for the future. And we wanted to embrace that and push it to the limits to see if we could achieve the goals.
We've invested in 9 full-blown state-of-the-art simulators. This is not a one-off thing, but does require people believing in it, because getting some youngsters that are actively great in a computer and putting them in a car, that's not really been done that much.
Before we arrived at the Bolton finals, this competition started online with 5 tough races around virtual versions of some of Europe's most iconic circuits. All with the aim of finding one boy and one girl who will win a truly amazing prize. A fully paid drive to compete in the 2023 British F4 Championship.
The deserved champions from this weekend's simulator races, one boy, one girl from the ages 14 to 16, will get the unbelievable opportunity to race a fully paid drive for 2023 in the F4 Championship.
This will be no easy competition, and it has the backing from the very top of the sport.
My name's Hugh Chambers. I'm the Chief Executive of Motorsport UK, the governing body of motorsport in this country. Motorsport UK is the governing body for all four-wheeled motorsport in this country, and we are a member of the FIA, which is the International Federation for Four-Wheeled Motorsport worldwide.
And of course we promote motorsport. We promote motorsport for the long term, and that's one of our, in my view, one of our fundamental roles. I'm David Richards. I'm the Chairman of Motorsport UK. At the moment, and for some little time now, British drivers have certainly been right at the top of all echelons of motorsport, whether it's Formula One, World Rally Championship, touring cars and sports car racing. So we do have a great representation at the senior level of motorsport, but one has to remember that doesn't start just at that level. That starts absolutely at the grassroots level of motorsport, where we have to promote through clubs and give that platform for these drivers to learn through their different disciplines to get themselves to that top level.
I think between the two programs, ROKiT Racing Star and British F4, there's a lot of similarities, because both of them are really about talent selection and talent identification. And I think what's wonderful about bringing those two things together is that we may well find a real new star of the future, and it would be extremely exciting, wouldn't it, to be a program that identifies a young talent who's just come from sim racing. We managed to see them go all the way through to a professional career in motorsport.
For the finalists here in Bolton, it was time to get suited and booted, ready for action. All before they found out how the event was going to play out.
The Day One program that we've put in place now is really to familiarise the kids with it. There's a big gap between operating a home gaming system and then coming in and doing this. These are professional racing systems. So what I wanted to do was take them out of their comfort zone. They're all in their nice little homes playing with the gaming systems, think they're going to come here to something similar, and we've completely disorientated them. In addition to that, of course, they've not known which circuit it is, so they've not been able to do any testing.
You will be racing at Brands Hatch. I don't know how that sits with some of you, whether you know it inside out. Some of you, I think,
And I could see from their faces none of them had guessed it. So all of that was good, because now it throws them in the deep end. We'll find out of those that can adapt quickly, which is obviously what the first session's all about. And then what's most important for me, which is what we do on the track, is they go away and sleep overnight, come back the next day, and it'll all be in their minds ready to go for tomorrow for the finals.
For our young hopefuls, the competition began online back in February 2022, and the first race was around the mighty Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. The grid was packed for the first heat of the boys around the legendary home of the British Grand Prix.
Silverstone was a very, well, good race until it was all of a sudden a very bad race.
We are underway here for the first round of the season. Kai Bikini with a great launch. You can see Zach Sweeney trying to make it 3 wide down into turn 1. Kai Bikini straight down the inside, pushing Dylan Warren.
Was battling with Dylan off the start of the race and managed to hold second, having to defend the whole race from Liam McNeely, who was very close in behind me, who was putting pressure on the whole race.
Kai impressed that race, but him and Liam battling gave me the leeway to get ahead by 1.1 seconds, whatever it was. And then I managed to pull slipstream and I just kept pulling away.
Dylan Warren is clearing off into the distance right now.
We come down to, I think it was 4 minutes to go in the race, and well, my game crashed and I disconnected from the server.
What's happened to Kai Bikini? What has happened to Kai Bikini? I think there has been a disconnection potentially for our second place runner.
It could have been a P2 result, maybe even a P3 if Liam had got past me. Still would have been great points for the championship, but came out with nothing, unfortunately.
Dylan Warren ticks it off for a sensational victory here at Silverstone.
I think it was a pretty easy race in comparison to some of the others, but yeah, I think it was just an example and a baseline for what's to come.
Tell us your name and whereabouts you come from.
Dylan Warren, Wellingborough. Someone told me about it before the event happened and I was like, oh, okay, this is a good opportunity. So I decided to do it. I downloaded the race room and then started practicing for it. Yeah, and then after the first race, I just thought, why shouldn't I do this? It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Say, well, obviously we haven't funded a career of sorts, given that I haven't raced in real life, but I think the prize is massive.
So from what we understand is that the Racing Unleashed sims are what they call 4DOF or 60OF. So it'll be 4 degrees of force or 6 degrees of force, which gives you the full motion of a driving simulator.
So you're telling me this. You could have just said it moves, therefore it'll be more like real life.
Yes. I think he's got the skills to get there, and I think he knows. He's very technical when it comes to the actual parts of knowing what a car can do. And he needs to. Hopefully, he can get into when he gets to the real car. And I'm saying when he gets to it because I think he's got a fairly good chance.
I rate my chances reasonably high, but obviously I'm not going to be complacent as to when we get to the event.
It was then Austria's Red Bull Ring for round 2.
At the Red Bull Ring, Theo was on pole by, I think, 8 thousandths, so it was a close margin, and I think he was faster in the pre-qualifying as well.
I did a lot of practice for it. I was actually P1 going into the time trial, like the practice for it, and I put it on pole.
The lights are on. We are underway in the Styrian Mountains, and once again, decent start from our pole sitter Theo Mercurius, but it is the inside line that fortunes Dylan Warren.
I managed to get him into time 1, thankfully. And then from there, it was just him 5, 4, 3 tenths behind and me just leading the way for the entire race.
I was always around probably 7th to about 4th in all of the races. I got unlucky in a few of them. I feel like I could have finished 3rd there, but I ended up finishing 6th, I think. But all in all, I was very consistent throughout, so I do think I've got good enough pace to maybe even win this.
Warren crosses the line and is our race victory once again.
Next was the mega-fast Monza.
Going into Monza, we didn't get a great quali and then again had a bad start.
Curious as well, having a bit of a bad start there, dropping down to that 6th place.
First corner I got tagged by Kai Bicini, which got a tag on the rear which spun me, so I dropped back to last.
Turn 2 as Mercurius goes around.
I had a good recovery, making up about 15 places from last, but it was just ran out of time in the end to make up any more places.
Round 4 was on what many consider to be the greatest track around, Spa in Belgium.
in Spa, in qualifying, just wasn't able to set a lap, had to start from pretty much dead last on the grid.
I sort of took some time off from qualifying. Decided to start last. Oh, it shows that you have racecraft and you're not just leading from the front.
Struggled a little bit with pace at Spa.
But it is Theo Mercouris leading the way for Dick Fairclough.
Started struggling a little bit in the middle of the race and I was vulnerable at the end.
Fairclough, he's got nothing really to lose. Joining the championship late. Fairclough all the way around the outside, taking the lead, and that is a nice clean move.
Made a few mistakes on my behalf, which meant I wasn't able to pick up the P2 or even the win in that.
I'm going to be through. Let me show what I can do starting from the back and trying to make my way through everyone.
What you're doing is you're showing your ability to race, not just to lead from the front, not just to walk away from everyone. One of the superstars of the day, Dylan Warren, will take a top 5.
I got to 5th in the end from 19th, so it's not the worst thing.
It was all then down to Hockenheim for the final race.
So Hockenheim, last chance at going for the win and showed great pace all through the practice.
Great launch from Dylan Warren, away cleanly. It was a good one though from Kai Bacini to look back to the inside. Theo Mercouris is right there. He didn't attack in the Red Bull ring. I think he's going to attack today.
Going into the hairpin lap when Theo sent it up my inside.
Dylan Warren is going to lose the lead here as Mercouris goes up the inside.
I did not expect it, to be honest. I didn't try to seed it, but obviously if you got it, you got it. I went like it was a crash. I noticed through the race that I was getting later and later into the hairpin. I was braking 10 metres later sometimes. I managed to make a dummy, so I just went to the outside.
Dylan Warren to the outside of the track once again, switching to the inside.
And I saw him move across. I was hoping he'd move across, and he didn't move across. And I managed to send him up the inside and get the move done.
Final lap, Dylan Warren leading the way from Theo Mercouris. He's having some sort of issue there.
As I was leading, my wheel turned off, started having a bit of a spasm on the straight, and then I went miles off and lost the place and lost the win. But got the fastest lap.
4 different race winners. Dylan Warren opened it up the season with 2 wins. Now we have Theo Mercouris.
Suffering to finally take the win, so yeah, really happy with that. Hopefully I can carry the momentum forward.
After a competitive online season for the boys, we'd found our final 16 competitors that would fight it out for the prize at the University of Bolton. As these are professional sims and completely new to our young gamers, they have what is hopefully not a crash course in how they work.
Our simulators is quite on a high level in terms of the motion system we produce. So all in-house, so all R&D is done by us. And so we always explain to drivers what they have to take care during the drive and also how they have to operate the steering wheel. You will be racing in mode 2, okay? This is already set for you. What does that mean? Mode 2 means that you're going to have to be using gears. Number 1 would be automatic, right? But for a championship like this, before that, of course, how to get into simulator, how the simulator behaves, what to do, not to do on the racetrack. So yeah, there's a few things to take care of. You have the talk button. You can talk to the race control. You also can talk via the buttons through to our race control in Switzerland, so each driver can talk to the issues. And you think somebody else's fault, right? Somebody's fault, not you. You can use the talk button. There's no range engineer, mechanics or anything. There's no pit stops, okay? It's just the race, one shot, that's it.
It was the same format for the girls' heats. Race 1 was at Silverstone.
I definitely thought coming into it like I'd probably struggle a little bit because I hadn't ever been on a sim before. This is sort of really new to me. So to be like winning races and be quite up at the front has been really, really good.
So I didn't really have a plan in mind so I didn't think I'd actually be in the race. So I didn't really have a plan ahead in Silverstone. It was more like I just kind of turned up and did it.
Monica Moulton-Ramos claimed pole and held the early advantage in the race. The battle behind for second was tight.
also still a consistency factors. Oh, a bit of a switcheroo there from Macy Hitter, getting a good drive there, coming through Chapel Corner, getting herself up into that second place. Wrigley just slightly off the line.
However, Monica had the race under control. Well, until she crossed the line to claim victory.
I weaved a bit too hard and crashed into the barrier after the finish line. It didn't affect the results, just my pride.
Round 2 was at Austria's Red Bull Ring. Again, Monica Bolton-Ramos was on pole.
Bolton-Ramos, Macy Hitter the front row, and once again, Macy Hitter with an absolutely terrible start.
I've never done a start on the sim before, so I struggled a little bit, which I managed to get pretty much towards the end of the sim racing.
It proved to be a dramatic opening lap.
Ramos, then White, then Grant on our run, up towards turn 2 and through turn 3.
Turn 3, I broke a bit early because I knew the tyres were cold, but the people behind me didn't.
Jess White might go on the attack very, very early doors indeed. What does Chloe Grant do in the background? They're all going to hold.
I had someone straight up the back of me and then someone onto the side of me, and then I'm pretty sure Chloe Grant got away.
But Chloe Grant makes the huge mistake. Oh, and this spun as well. Monica Bolton-Ramos has been tapped by Jess White.
There was people off left, right and centre.
And Chloe Grant's taken the lead.
It was my first time doing it, obviously because I missed the first round. It was great, yeah, I managed to get into the lead.
Throughout the race we managed to catch up Chloe Grant, and Chloe Grant and Macy had a crash.
And Chloe Grant now needs to keep it on the tracks, doing a good job so far. Oh, over a spin. She's going into the pit lane, and so is Macy Hitter. She's lost her front wing as well, and both those drivers are going to have to come in the pit lane, and that's given the lead back to Ramos.
I spun and it put me in the pits, and once you're in the pits it doesn't let you come back out, so it completely DNF'd me, which was really, really unfortunate, but I learnt my lesson.
So it ended up in Monica pulling away, and I was sort of a few seconds behind her.
It is Monica Bolton-Ramos who's going to be getting a second win in 2 races.
It had been an impressive start for Monica, especially considering she was using a relatively basic sim.
I'm Monica Bolton-Ramos and I'm from Toaster. And I've always wanted to get into motorsport, but you know, it's quite hard if you don't have the money to get there. And the fact that it's a free competition really appealed to me, because it would get rid of that barrier of the financial side of motorsport and just let me show my ability. It would mean everything, because you know, I've been watching tons of races, tons of karting, and kind of being jealous that I can't do it. So yeah, it would completely change my life if I did win this.
If she wins, that's it, isn't it?
And that's one of the advantages we've got now of sim racing, in that it does enable young teenagers to compete in racing, competitive racing against one another.
Oh, they're really supportive. You know, my dad's been sitting in my room every race, you know, just giving me a bit of advice, like pushing me on. So yeah, they've been really supportive and, you know, put a lot of effort into helping me.
I was stunned by the competition, to be honest. I know Monica was playing on Race Room anyway, and then one day she said, oh, there's this competition, can I enter it? I was going, well, how much is that going to cost? And I think it's free. I was like, yeah, okay, and kind of forgot about it. And then a week later, she's telling me that she's got to qualify, and I said, what do you mean qualify? And it all just seemed, what's actually going on here?
First thing I knew about it is when she texted me, I need to put my address for permission for doing this. And I'm reading and I was like, what is she talking about? What permission for what? I was like, yes, this competition I'm doing. I'm like, what competition? So I didn't even know it was happening until it happened.
Well, I got the wheel and pedals like a year ago probably, and I got it because it was on discount. So I did half price with my dad. So I didn't really need upgrades. Although I did bring an upgrade to Monza, I think it was, where I got the Christmas decorations and put the pedals on top. That was my one rig upgrade that I had. I had a bit of difficulty controlling the pedals because they're really far away. So we put them on top of a Christmas box to make it higher. So I had more control over it.
Round 3 was at the mighty Monza in Italy.
In Monza, I decided to back off a bit in turn 1 because I thought that, you know, someone might miss their braking point, I'll get taken out.
Monica Bolton-Ramos with Jess White alongside. It is a slightly better start from Jess White, who's going to pull alongside immediately down towards turn 1. She's already got the race lead before they've even looked at the brake pedal.
No one did that, and I ended up going down to like 4th.
Towards the end, I think it was about 3 laps, my tyres completely wore away and the back just slid. Macy and Monica overtook me.
Oh, as Jess White there goes to a bit too deep, loses the rear end slightly, catches it.
The stress that went through my head, my legs were going everywhere, I couldn't concentrate. And I've had like my mechanic saying, calm down, calm down.
And Jess White's just given her the best opportunity. Ramos to the inside. Can she get herself up into 2nd place? Can she keep it on the track this time? Yes, she can. Ramos back into 2nd place.
Jess had a little going off as well, which maybe gave me a little bit of a help, but overall, yeah, really, really good race.
Macy Hitter taking her 3rd consecutive podium across the line. She's fixed all her issues and has sorted it for today and takes race victory ahead of Monica Bolton-Ramos and Jess White.
It was then time for the legendary Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium.
A round 4 at Spa was a pretty simple round for me. I kind of just took the lead, and from there, people made a mistake behind me, which I could relax a bit and just drive.
Is Ramos going to be able to come back down the inside into Les Combes? Yes, she is, as long as she can make the apex.
Look at that down the inside, Macy Hitter. Oh, a little bit squeezed there from Jess White. Macy Hitter, though, makes the room. Important move to make because she sets our sights on the red car of Bolton-Ramos.
So Spa round 4, I definitely was a bit of a challenging race.
Oh, big moment there, though, from Macy Hitter off into the barrier.
Because on the wheel, like, you can change a little bit. I think I forgot to change it back one corner and I went off or something, but the speed was really, really good, so I managed to get back up to 2nd, I think it was.
I believe we will get an extra lap.
I saw there was like hardly any time left, so I decided to back off a bit in sector 3.
She could slow down. I think she might well be slowing down enough. Monica Bolton-Ramos is going to cross the line. Is it going to call the race? Yes, it is.
Which made sure I didn't have to do an extra lap, or I could have made an extra mistake, handing Macy the lead.
The final was again at Germany's Hockenheim circuit.
Hockenheim was my favourite one, to be honest. I managed to get away literally from the start and lead the whole race to win it.
And we are underway as there was a decent start finally for Macy Hitter, Monica Bolton-Ramos.
I spun in turn 1, I hit the back on Macy, thinking she would be a bit faster.
Macy Hitter is going to win the final race of the season, beating Monica Bolton-Ramos, beating Ella Wrigley.
That's definitely my best race, but the whole thing of it has been amazing, really, and there's been up and downs, but that definitely was the highlight to it.
So that sorted out the top female finalists who'd be competing in Bolton. It was now time for our competitors to get their first taste of driving a professional sim. For some, the sims were quite a shock to the system.
It was so different.
Just everyone else takes more pumps than you do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to
spin it.
Yeah. It's so realistic. This sim is like way more realistic than I honestly could have thought. So it's very just like learning the ways of the car. You're just trying to learn the ways of the sim and what's it gonna allow you to do and what's it not really going to let you do either.
It feels really good. It feels really natural. Like the way the car is bumping around and the steering, it feels really natural. So I think I should be able to take some of my skills, which I've learned in the real life, into the sim to try and help me go faster.
Stick with the cushions to give you the back support.
Others struggled with a full racing cockpit.
She's so short, she's 5'2", so they can't get the car to fit her properly. By the time she's doing, she's only a tenth off Monica, with a car that's not fit for her to drive.
This like way too big for me to even fit in. Like the pedals, they came back to where I needed them, but they didn't lock in the right place. So we had to put about 3 cushions in, and that like sort of pushed my wrists in.
At the moment, her hands are like that, which she's hurting her wrists. So we're trying to get some ice so she can carry on. But yeah, it's a big prize.
I'm Jessica White and I'm from Essex. We're at PFI International and I'm having a kart race. I've finished about 9th in the last championship here, so we're hoping to get more points this time. I can't afford an actual F4 drive. It would give me the opportunity, even though it's just a year's race, it would still like be amazing to just drive one. With my already like previous training in karting and everything, I'm quite ready for it, and it would be a lovely opportunity just to even experience that sort of training. If I got to F4, that could possibly lead to W Series if I got the sponsors for it.
Practice had been going well for Monica Bolton Ramos, and she'd recruited her dad to help as timekeeper.
So you doing that? What are you doing? She wants a list of all her lap times so that she can check to see if she's been consistent or not. So she wants to see how far off she is of her mean time.
This is where reality started to hit home, that this competition was for real. And suddenly, the pressure began to rise.
I mean, Deek was doing 24s, then 24/7s. I could have gone for a 24/9, and then I binned it in the last corner again. Yeah.
I love sim racing. I love any racing, but yeah, I spend quite a bit of time sim racing. My name's Stanley Rodrigo, and I'm from Bedfordshire. I actually found the competition from Twitter, and I never used Twitter. I just went on it for the first time in months, and I found the competition. I really enjoyed the sim, and yeah, just carried on from there. And I did about 3 rounds because I didn't check my emails for the first 2, so I didn't get in. I've always wanted to do racing, and I think if I did win the competition, I'd definitely be looking at the long-term option here. So I think I'd want to gather sponsors over the year and see if I can continue next year. But it would mean the world if I won this. It's always been my dream.
There was also plenty of experience on hand to act as support.
Wait, so went in a bit too quick? Yeah. Did you pick the throttle up too early?
You need just a tiny bit just to keep the load in.
Because of the
as you
negative
transition,
camber.
it goes away.
Yeah. I didn't have this opportunity when I was trying to get through the ranks of motorsport. For me, to learn a new circuit that I haven't been at, it's really good just to know where the corners go and the turning points and the apexes, the braking points. But I started racing for Bolton University in British GT.
Anna Valuska was part of the university's first steps into competitive racing, driving a Ginetta in the British GT Championship.
We had the students shadow the race team that I raced for and the engineers and mechanics and learn the practical side of motorsport engineering, which I think is really important. And I'm here today, I guess, an ambassador for Bolton University through my history with them and my links with them. I do support both the boys and the girls, but of course I'm here a little bit more for the girls. So supporting role, and in the future a little bit of coaching and mentoring going forward.
So, what is Formula 4? This is the first step on the ladder that leads to Formula 1. It's the highest and most prestigious single-seater class in the UK. These are lightweight, carbon fibre rocket ships capable of racing at over 150 miles an hour. And the prize? Our winners will get the opportunity to compete in the full season on the best circuits in this country, battling it out wheel to wheel with other young drivers who all have the hope of reaching Formula 1 someday. Next time on Racing Star, our young competitors will be going into battle for real, head-to-head, as the pressure ramps up and the action gets underway with qualifying in the chase for this massive prize.
I'm Deegan Fairclough, the winner of the inaugural ROKiT Racing Stars Competition. I'm now racing in Formula 4, fully funded by ROKiT. If you want a similar chance, look out for the next ROKiT Racing Stars Competition coming soon.